So friends, coming to this first session of the program, which is on role and importance of social media in education, where in general I'll be giving you an overview about the importance of this social media in education. What are the benefits which we can accrue by using this social media in education to meet the present day demands of the students. So in this topic, I will be talking about what exactly is the social media and the more important question, why social media? Why at all we have to use this? Because since decades we are using that traditional mode of education, and we are producing the students as per the requirements of the industry. So why this social media, and how, what are those social media platforms which we can use in our classroom instruction? So, starting with what is social media? I'm just asking you all about what do you understand? What is social media? Social media है क्या ये? And
Platform.
what social media you are using in your classroom maybe at present? That also maybe you can talk about.
Ma'am, social media is a platform which connects us with acquaintances either professionally or personally. So, professionally in the classroom, we use LinkedIn. And if I talk about educational modes of social media, then we have various platforms. One of the platform we are using right now. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Sonakshi ji, for contributing. Yes, Dr. Kaushik wanted to say something.
Yes, ma'am. The social media is a platform where we can connect with each other, and the same interest of the people can interact with each other and can do more
Mm-hmm.
fruitful uh,
Okay.
interaction.
Okay.
It is a
Anybody else would
platform.
like to supplement? Yeah, Monica ji.
It is a platform where we can appeal the mass,
Yes, true. We can connect with masses.
and we can communicate our messages and as well as receive the messages from them also.
True, ma'am. True.
Their reactions, their
Mm-hmm.
recognitions, and everything.
Okay. So thank you, Monica ji, Sonakshi ji, and Dr. Kaushik. Yes, exactly. It is that social media are the computer tools that allows people to create, share, or exchange information, not only information, images, videos, and even more with each other through a particular network. So basically, social media are the internet sites where people interact with each other. They provide a place for people across the world. As somebody said, that we can connect with the masses. We can connect with the people across the world to share information and also engage in discussions with each other. We can interact with each other in real time. So, social media is a communication tool that allows users to interact with and contribute the content online. I think you're all familiar with the social media platforms like Pinterest, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, which I think are being used by almost everyone now these days. It is not just only limited to posting the vacation snaps online. It is an interactive computer mediated technology for sharing of various ideas, information, or even career interests, and maybe other forms of expression through the apparent communities and the worldwide network. It has become a very powerful tool for people to market their products. So these social channels are all about collaborating, networking, sharing, and generating knowledge and content, something which is of great value in the context of education. So social network tools offer students and educational institutions with multiple opportunities to improve their teaching learning methods. Through these networks, you can incorporate all those social media plugins that enable sharing and interaction. Students can benefit from online tutorials and other resources that are shared through social media networks and learning management systems. So, although social media has a large presence in the news and entertainment world, but when used in your learning setting for the educational purposes, I think it has the potential to facilitate communication, augmenting the students' experiences, and also improving the learning outcomes of the students by way of extending the learning environment beyond the classroom by providing and nurturing a student centric learning setting, encouraging the interaction and engagement amongst the students, facilitate the flow of communication, flow of information between the students, faculty, and the whole campus community. So some of the, I think there are many social media platforms, but I'll be talking about some of the popular social media platforms which are being used at present by the higher educational institutions. So these are social networks, blogs, microblogs, wikis, social bookmarking, media sharing, RSS, which is really simple syndication, the full form. So this social network is an online community that brings people with the common interest, opinions, common activities and experiences together by sharing their news, photos, videos, and events. A social network is essentially composed of a representation of each user, often a profile, his social links, as well as a variety of additional services. These online communities also provide means for users to interact with each over the internet, such as email and instant messaging. So some of the most popular social networking sites, they are Facebook, LinkedIn, MySpace, and there are many more. The second most popular used is the blogs. Blogs are nothing but, I will say, the web-based journals, the kind of print journals we use in the library. These are the web-based blogs. That is why these are known as the blogs or the journals that enable users to post their thoughts, post their ideas, their writings, their opinions for other people to view. So blogs are usually written by one person about a particular topic and are usually updated on the regular basis with the entries displayed in the reverse chronological order. They can either be self-hosted or placed on a blogging network such as Blogger or WordPress or Tumblr. Next is the microblogs. I think, as their name suggests, provide a similar function as the traditional blogs, but with a much focus on being short or quick, as the name suggests, micro. So these are very short in form. A microblogging website enables users to write short text messages and transmit them in the real time to their contacts. So microblogging can therefore be seen as a cross between the blogging and the social networking. The most common or the most famous microblogging service is the Twitter, whereas short messages are written. The next is the wikis. Wikis are the websites that are developed collaboratively by the community of the users. They allow any user to add, to change, to correct, and also post information for others to see. The largest and the most popular wikis is the Wikipedia, a user contributed online encyclopedia currently hosting millions of articles, I think, in over more than 200 languages. So once published articles on Wikipedia, they are considered to be as the living content, as they are always subject to change and amendments by the users. Social bookmarking. Social bookmarking websites, also known as the collaborative tagging systems, give people the opportunity to tag their favorite links and share the results with other users. Usually organized by a topic, bookmarks can be saved privately, shared with certain people or groups, or can also be available to the public. So there are many like Delicious, Dig, Reddit, Stumble Upon, to name just a few, are good examples of websites offering the bookmarking services. Media sharing. Media sharing sites enable users to upload and share their multimedia content like photos, videos, as well as audio on the web. People can view the files uploaded by the other peoples to enrich them with tags and share their thoughts through comments. Examples of such social media tools are YouTube, Flickr, iTunes, and Shutterfly. And the final is the RSS, which is the real simple syndication. It is a common component of social media websites. RSS allows websites and blogs to distribute their updated and dynamic content as feeds to the different users. So hence, instead of visiting a given website regularly, the user can subscribe for free as many as feeds of information as desired, and then access and manage those feeds all at once by making use of a RSS reader. That is, example is the Google Reader. So these are broadly, I have given you what kind of popular social media platforms which are being used by the educational and the professional communities. So my next point after this, what is social media and what are the types of social media which are being used? The important one is why social media. Why do you think that social media की बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है to use in our education system? क्या लगता है हमारे टीचर्स को कि क्या इसके बिना हमारा काम नहीं चल सकता? अगर नहीं चल सकता तो why at all it is so important for all of?
Ma'am, these days it is everywhere.
That broad coverage, yes, broad coverage. We can give them the latest content. Yeah, yes. Anybody else? Why social media? कोई भी चीज यूज करने के लिए पहले
To get the update, many times we use social media, and most of the information we are getting nowadays from the social media, like Wikipedia is one of them, and like Chat GPT and other platforms from where we get the exact information what we require, rather than go to the library and search about the topic.
Mm-hmm. True, ma'am. Right. Yes, Monica Janet. Anybody else? Ease of operation and application. Okay. As we are dealing with Gen Z people. Yes, we are dealing with Gen Z people. What are their requirements? So that is why it has become this thing important for this. See, because the new paradigm, the new shifts in our, yeah, it can be helpful tool for the flipped classrooms also. So friends, the kind of challenges before us, this 21st century has brought radically different economy and society with profound implications for the education system. The present education system will have to adapt to the key features, like the first one is your globalization and competition. See, we are in the era of, yes, to understand the perspective of other people across different domains of knowledge. Payal Basiji has written, true ma'am. So there are, we can stay informed with the current events, current trends, ease in learning. It will become easy in learning when we are familiar with those tools and we are at ease with the use of those tools. Because don't assume that all the students are familiar with the kind of applications which are available for them, how they can use. I think it is still a challenge for the teachers that students are also not aware of that. It is not compulsory to use social media. We can use social media tool as an alternative. Okay. सर आई विल से कि कंपल्सरी वो इसलिए हो गया है बिकॉज द काइंड ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी विच इज चेंजिंग डे बाय डे. I think as a teacher, it sometimes it becomes difficult to provide all that knowledge in our 3 years or 4 years of course, which is required by the students in their 30 or 40 years of career life. So coming to that point, because it affects the reading and the writing skills, true, sir. But I think there are applications available on the social media also where we can improve their writing skills. जैसे कि आपको blog का मैंने example दिया है. Encourage your students to write their blogs. It is not maybe only in the field of English language. It can be there for each and every subject in that case. Today I am facing a network issue from my side. Tomorrow I will arrange it. Okay. So, as I said, the globalization and competition, I think I will say the globalization of the workforce. There are no boundaries now. Students are moving outside the country. We have to prepare the students who are of international standard. We have to prepare the students with the changing needs of industry, because the skill set required by the industry is now not the same as it was 10 years or 15 years ago. This is a competitive world now. People cannot afford to ignore the competition. The present era is called an information age. No one at present can survive without the latest information and has to remain updated at all times with the current knowledge so as to remain competitive in today's market. That is why social media. ICT revolution. Recent years have witnessed an increased interest in using technology with the courses in higher education. New ICT technologies have been created for academic use, changing the way organizations and the people create information. They engage themselves and share their existing or maybe the newly produced information through multi-way communication through computer and mobile devices. New developments in teaching and learning. There are new approaches for the delivery of the content. We may be knowledgeable enough, many papers published, written many books, but even good academicians still feel uncomfortable to teach online. But as I said, teacher cannot be helpless. They are intellectual people. They will have to be familiar with online platforms and tools which are available for teaching and learning. Knowledge explosion. This is ocean of knowledge available with all of us. The kind of knowledge society which has emerged today is that it is now easier than ever to know or to find out something about, I think, almost everything in the world through this connected media. Obsolescence of knowledge and need for lifelong learning. Earlier I said the kind of era where we are, that technology changes very fast and there is an increased emphasis on R&D for innovations. So one has to update and reskill oneself on continuous basis. He will have to be lifelong learner, बिकॉज आज के टाइम में तो स्किल बहुत जल्दी ऑब्सोलीट होती जा रही है. आई थिंक जिस तरह से अब आप देख सकते हैं कि आईटी के फील्ड में भी कितना सेचुरेशन आ गया है. अनलेस अंटिल यू आर नाउ having the new courses related to your AI or cyber security or maybe some new other fields. So otherwise we will become obsolete in the market. We will have to develop the student as independent learner to survive in the present day market. Because as a teacher, as I said, we cannot teach each and everything in their 3 years or 4 years of curriculum, which is required by the student throughout their life. They will have to develop the habit of self-learning in the students. I think in NEP 2020 also, emphasis has been laid on the holistic development of students by offering multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary education. So this revamping of education system after the launch of NEP 2020, COVID-19 and the development of new learning expectations for the students, I think have necessitated the advanced pedagogical approaches to be used that will help the students to actively and construct knowledge through meaningful learning experiences. There is a paradigm shift in teaching and learning. There is paradigm shift in the content as well as the delivery mechanism. There is a shift from the traditional teaching to the facilitation of learning now. See, on the part of learner, there is a shift from the individual learning to the shared learning, guided learning by the teacher to the independent learning by the students. Earlier, learning was only to co-terminus with the getting degrees. Now, the emphasis should be that we have to prepare lifelong learner and perpetual endeavor. Earlier, the learner was as empty vessels, passive recipient of knowledge. Now, the student is the active participant in the teaching learning process. So these kind of shifts are there in the part of the learner. On the part of the teacher, if you will see, now this shift is not only on developing the skill, but to develop the competence. You have provided him or her the skill, but he or she should be able to perform that skill. He should be able to use that skill, maybe the more application oriented. He should be competent enough to exhibit that skill. Earlier, we were preparing the student for the local needs. Now we have to prepare the student for the international standard. Earlier, the content part was important, what of knowledge. Now, the process part, how of thinking is important. Earlier, we were confined to only textbook-driven curriculum. Now, we are living in the era of information technology. Earlier, teacher used to be the provider of knowledge only. Now, teacher has to act as the mediator, as the information facilitator. Earlier, teachers comes to the class, writes on the board, and is over. But now, I think the content is already available on the internet. Why the student should come to the class? Only explanation may be required, but many times explanation is also there now these days. I think, for example, we have that if you have gone through that NPTEL site, where all those self-learning modules are available, all those explanations, probable questions are also available. Students have only queries. So teacher also will have to prepare accordingly. Today, with the implementation of learning outcome-based curriculum, teaching has to be student-centered, learner-centric, and not the teacher-centered. Teacher's role is only to act as a guide, as a mentor, to create interest amongst the students, inspire the students for learning, because education is not learning the fact, but the training of the mind to think, how to apply those facts in the world of work. So unfortunately, at present, teacher has access to many aids that can be used at the click of a button, which will make learning more interesting and more engaging. Teaching learning process becomes more effective. So social media is one way. It is paving the way for new age learning, which is personalized and customized to suit the need of every learner, because every learner has a different style of learning. Some students learn by hearing the lectures only. Some are more comfortable when the things are shown to them. Even some are more comfortable than when they perform with their own hands. तो जितना उनका involvement होता है, I think they learn better. So in this interconnected world, professional networks and connections have become very important to one's success and future growth. So in the nutshell, I will say the overall shift is from traditional education to the modern education. Yes, Ashok Mishra ji has raised hand. You want to say something? Or by mistake? So earlier it was in the traditional education, it was only teacher centered. Teacher used to plan according to his or her own knowledge or his or her own convenience. The learning objective is usually the transfer of knowledge from the teacher to the students, transfer of the information or the skills from the teacher to the students. It was the one-way transfer of knowledge. The teacher more or less controls the material to be taught and the pace of learning while presenting the course contents to the students. The teacher was the overall in charge of the class. The purpose of learning was to only acquire the knowledge, memorize that new knowledge, or learn the skills. So traditional education methods rely heavily on the replication base, that whatever was given to the students, they will memorize and same to same they will reproduce into their examination as well as in their practical class. So we all, I think, have been educated in a teacher-centric classroom, a system where the teacher is upfront and the students are seated in nice, neat rows, listening to the lectures and just taking the notes. So this system has been, and to some extent, still forms the core of our education system. Institutions have relied on it for decades together and have only recently, I think, has undergone major changes because of those challenges which we have faced in terms of employment, economy, and our education. But modern education system is more emphasis on the learner centered, means the students learns best not only by receiving the knowledge but also by interpreting it, learning through discovery, while also setting the pace of their own learning. Teachers only coach and mentor the students to facilitate the learning, designing the experiences through which students acquire new knowledge and develop the new skills. So modern education involves the interactive methods for effective learning. Traditional is one-way transfer, whereas the modern is the multi-way transfer of knowledge. It significantly emphasizes more on integration of technology. It focuses more on the students' needs rather than assuming that all the students are at the same level of understanding. It is activity based, comprising of questioning, explaining, demonstration, and collaboration techniques. So this form of education teaches the students the imaginative, creative thinking and visualization. So today online education has become an essential part of the learning process and pedagogy, offering an immense scope of learning anything, anytime, and anywhere. The internet has become a vast pool of knowledge, providing opportunities to people of all ages to refine their skills and expand their expertise in the different fields of study. So, education in the 21st century, as I said, has changed now. Now, no more chalk and talk way of communication. Social media tools are rapidly changing the communication landscapes. Their emergence has impacted significantly how students learn and the way teachers teach. So, living in this 21st century, technology has become an integral part of our daily lives. It has brought about the complete overhauling of our world and, more importantly, of our educational system. So, in the nutshell, education in this century should be reimagined, redefined, redesigned, and reinvented. So, educational institutions have realized the capability and the potential of social media technologies to enhance the overall teaching learning process, because it not only provides students access to useful information but also connects them with the learning groups and the other educational systems that make their overall learning process more interesting and more engaging. So if we talk about the present generation, as somebody had written in the message that now we are dealing with the Gen Z people. So I think just on the lighter side, see the child asking his father, "Hey dad, did you hear the news?" He said, "No, I haven't seen this TV channel, maybe CNN yet." Child doesn't know. He says, "What is CNN?" So आज के time पे people are more getting the information through internet. So Dad, how did everyone email each other before the internet was around? So they can't imagine their life without internet. So why not to use its potential for the teaching learning system? Today is the net generation, the jet generation, you can say. They use the latest in technology. They are highly motivated to use the technology in their routine activities. They have wide range of interest which can be met through this technology. They use computers in work, in education, and as well as their hobbies also. What makes this present people different is the way they are consuming media, spending more time with internet than TV. They do not are not even familiar with the channels of TV now, and also use the internet as the hub of their media activity. कितने लोग हैं हमारे में से आज जो दूरदर्शन वाले चैनल्स देखते हैं? आई थिंक स्टूडेंट्स आर मोर familiar with the other channels which provide them the latest news. It is the centerpiece of their life. It is how they communicate with each other and their world. So because with the use of internet, they can get instant and new information at the click of a button, and that too in a smart gadget in their hand. Internet is used for, I think, each and every sphere of life. Maybe it is business, people are earning online like anything, using in its education, e-banking, information about the nearby outlets. If you want to book the tickets for travel, or you want to book the tickets to watch a movie, and the major transformation has come in the health sector. Maybe you have to make an hospital appointment, you have to order for the medicines, online shopping, sharing information on WhatsApp groups, etc., etc. I think each and every sphere of life, I think we are using this internet and getting the information within no time. You name any area, I think information is there. And all age group of peoples, maybe I will say 2 years of age, maybe in the form of online gaming, or maybe the short videos of those nursery rhymes. People are small children are watching TV, to the 75 years of age. Maybe he or is a rickshaw puller, or maybe he is a CEO of an organization. I think people are using internet. So we are no longer now limited to being only the consumer of information. We are now collaborators. We are now producers of information. Every person has the ability to contribute ideas and experiences to the larger body of knowledge that is internet. So learning is changing now. Today students of almost, I think, any age are ahead of teachers, I will say, in terms of computer literacy. They prefer to access the subject information on the internet, where abundant, easily accessible, and more up to date information is available. So just take a minute and think how much we are connected to this outer world in our daily life through internet, YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp, and now latest is the Instagram. We all start our day and end our day with our mobile phone using various apps. I think I'm right. Do you agree with me? But if I ask you, in the daily life, yes, what type of social media is presently being used by you teachers in your teaching? I think hardly any. Anybody of you would like to share one of your experience where you are using your social media in your classroom teaching, or maybe in some form or the other? What type of social media you are using in your classroom at present? As I said, you are taking too much information from the internet. You are seeing so many videos, YouTube, WhatsApp groups, I think form हो गए हैं, Instagram पे हैं, YouTube. What type of activity you are taking under YouTube activities like? I think two, three people have said that YouTube they are using. Yeah, WhatsApp group are there for exchanging the information. Blogging, yes. Okay, WhatsApp, YouTube, lectures. So, do you develop your own lectures or just what are available in the class? Online classes, of course, yes. थोड़ा मुझे concrete form में बताएंगे that how you are using these YouTube lectures in your class, audio, visuals, and discussions. Can you just elaborate with the information of other participants, please? Yes, Dr. Neelam. I have a YouTube channel for each subject. Oh, that's nice.
Good morning.
I would like to hear your experience, sir, Mr. Ganesh. Okay, you develop your own lecture, Dr. Sadhana Maurya. Okay, somebody said existing lecture videos, Canva and Gamma AI. Okay, some of the subjects I have developed compiler subject. Would like to hear from two or three teachers about their experiences.
Yeah, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Ji. Let us hear her experience using this social media. I think that is all the more important. All those
Yeah,
things I can talk about.
definitely. Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
I'm from Mahila Polytechnic, Gandhinagar, Jaipur, and we teachers are using social media for teaching our students. I'm having my YouTube channel even, and through videos, through PPTs, and many more things, we create our own lectures. And sometimes we show our students some motivational movies also, so that their interest get developed through this. And like this, students get involved more with us. They all get involved with us, and when they see the creating things of teachers, they also they also want to do the same thing for their purpose, for their further discussions and many more things.
Okay. So
That's
have
it,
you
ma'am.
encouraged your students also to prepare some kind of YouTube lectures, like instead of that oral presentations of their
Definitely, ma'am. They make their lectures and they present their PPTs. They make
Mhm.
their projects and all through the these things only.
Okay, very nice, good.
Yeah.
Yes, any other participant would like to ask her something that how she is using and you can replicate that experience or what kind of challenge you face. You can have the answer from your colleagues.
Ma'am, challenge I also face.
Mm-hmm.
Many times network is not working properly.
Okay.
So it's really very hard when you are teaching sincerely and then you come to know that there is no network. So we have to link it through our hotspot and many more things. It wastes our time. So these things should be like बहुत सही तरीके से हो, तब टीचर बहुत अच्छे से बच्चों को डेवलप भी कर पाएगा और पढ़ा भी पाएगा.
True, ma'am. I think those kind of problems which we face regarding the connectivity issue and all that thing, I think, but even today, I can say we are expanding that network. I think the country has done a commendable job in that area. But yes, I agree with you. Sometimes we get that kind of challenge. But I think more than that, if that transition is coming and the changing the mindset of the people to use
Yes,
that media,
yes.
I think that is more important. Though
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
we
ma'am.
have to go a long way in this field, but it can be considered as an important part of the long term vision and the strategies. Efforts will have
Yeah.
to be built for all those things which are not maybe under your control sometimes, but good that at least you are making efforts in this direction.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Yes, please. Anybody else would like to share? Thank you, Neelamji. Thank you. Anybody else? I think sharing and interaction amongst each other is more important rather than only listening to me.
Hello.
Yes, please, Mr. Ganesh. I think you had written in the message box also. You are using to a larger extent this media in your classroom
Yes,
teaching.
yes,
Please.
madam. We use YouTube and Testmos application for online examination. In
Mm-hmm.
our case, means in for diploma in pharmacy students, exit examination is compulsory for registration. Okay, so that's why we take a online examination at the end of every topic. So that
Mm-hmm.
for the online examination, we use Testmos application. So within 5 to 10 minutes, we declare the result using Testpost application.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ganesh. I think the beginning has been made. I think people are using it in this, and they will. Payal Basiji has written, I make a log of each social media platforms and keep one assignment. Okay, I think the more important is that novel approaches for using this technologies have to be encouraged in our teaching learning system.
Yeah, one of the important
Mm-hmm.
thing to communicate with the alumni,
Yes,
our pass out batches and students for their current position and their recent status.
yes,
And we
yes.
are following the LinkedIn currently
Okay.
to get interact and involve students
Mm-hmm.
for creating a hub on the social media through the LinkedIn
Okay.
alumni
True,
users.
sir.
So it is one of the
Yeah, I agree with
important.
you. I think it is a very powerful platform, that LinkedIn, where we can maybe come to know of the many experts in the different fields which they can contribute in our education system, or maybe we want to have some kind of information from those experts which can be had, and also one of the important networking channel for the employment of the students. As you rightly said, it is very important that we have to be in touch with our alumni groups.
And the other thing that is the challenges as we are using different social media.
Mm-hmm.
In as one sir said that is through Facebook, the reliability and credentiality of the social media, even different social medias are available and we can use anyone. It is on the basis of choice, but the reliability and the credentiality of the social media is also important so
Yes,
that no one can infringe the knowledge as well as the quality of the content available on the social media.
true, sir.
This is the sake of interest to be make it constant.
Mm-hmm. I think every technology has its own positive and negative impacts. But I think as a teacher, to what extent we can use it to the benefit to our system, I think is more important. So let's go further. So as I said, we are familiar with many type of social media. But if you see the statistics, here is a quick look at the user statistics of a few social media platforms, I think, which only prove the growing popularity of these websites. So, the growth of social media over past few years has changed the way in which the internet is experienced by most end users. I think India is the largest online country after China, with about more than 70 crores internet users. People watch billion of video clips on YouTube daily of their interest. Every hour, users upload the video content. Every day, I think more than 90% of the college students visit one or the other social networking site. People have, I think, woven these networks into their daily routines using Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, online gaming environments, and other tools. So use of social media is not only limited to professionals or elders now, but it is being widely used in the educational sectors by the students, as social media provides them any data they want very easily and quickly within the fraction of seconds. So, coming next to social media in the classroom. This is, so in general we use for our personal growth also. Coming to the classroom, social media and instructions. So, what are the most effective ways teachers can use social media in their lecture halls and classrooms? I'll just give you a brief about all these, that how you can use, in what way you can use this social media platforms in your classroom teaching. The number one is the Google Docs. It is a very popular technology with teachers and students. Students and teachers can use these tools to collaborate on assignments, projects, newsletters, or maybe any other things. It allows more than one person to work on a particular document at the same time. Google Docs can promote the teamwork and group-based learning. The second most familiar with the students is the Facebook. I usually say now is the generation gap. Teacher is still on the book and the student asks the teacher to come on the Facebook. Facebook can be reflected as a perfect social media platform to incorporate into the classroom. I think stick to something everyone already knows and already using, are already familiar with that kind of platform. So have students follow the class Facebook page and the teacher can use it to post class updates, can share homework assignments, and also can encourage the discussions. Teacher can also create Facebook groups for each of their classes and stream the Facebook live lectures, post discussion questions where students can answer at their own pace. They can assign homework to the students and can make also the class announcements. It creates a space for students to ask and also answers the questions. When students get home and begin working on their assignment, they can post a question to the group so as to get it answered immediately by the group member. Students can share online resources related to their coursework. Teachers can facilitate online discussions about their course material. So it is also ideal for teachers using flipped classroom. Post videos, photos, documents, and other resources on the group's wall, and students can access those information before coming to the class or maybe when they work on their assignments. So when they get answers immediately, they become more motivated to work on those assignments. The next one is the Twitter. Twitter can be offers a quick way to post the class announcements and the reminders as well as real-time information on the class activities. It also helps classes track information on any topic. For example, a class discussing on a current event or a topic on career, let us say, Twitter can provide up-to-date information, eliminating the need for extensive research. Many organizations offer Twitter chat sessions with which students can interact. Twitter can be a great as a discussion board or a message board for the class. Teachers can create a single Twitter handle per class and reuse it every year, or maybe they can create a new handle each academic year. And the 280 character limit makes students think critically on communicating concisely and effectively. It's a beneficial writing skill to develop amongst the students. Teachers can use Twitter to post reminders for assignment due dates or share maybe sometimes inspirational quotes or helpful links also to practice the quizzes or other resources with the students. So teacher can also create discussions and Twitter chats surrounding a specific hashtag that they can create. Blogs. So instead of traditional writing projects, blogs creates opportunities for students to write and display their writings on a larger scale. Students can share what they know with the world by hosting blogs and inviting other classrooms to see what they have learned. Students can reflect on what they have learned through the blogs. Create a class blog for discussions. So writing, I think, blog posts give students another outlet for digital content that they can easily link back to the class social channels. There are many different platforms available, such as I earlier told you, WordPress, Squarespace, Wix, Blogger, Tumblr, or Medium, where teachers can create a class blog. Students can create their own user accounts to make discussion posts or add comments on the class prompts. The course syllabus and any assignments, updates, and resources can be shared on a blog as a central location as well. Having, or maybe you can assign the blog post as essays. Having students create in their own blog for essays or short form writing is another strategy for combining the social media and learning. Blogs as a semester or maybe year-long assignment can improve students' short form writing and critical thinking. So don't feel limited to just an English or writing class. This use of social media in education can be transferred across all the subjects. Pinterest. Create a class specific Pinterest board. Instructors can create Pinterest boards for each of their classes and save pins that are relevant to the lessons. Pinterest is a great social media platform for teachers to use to prepare and organize resources, lesson plans, and worksheets for their classes in one place. Create boards according to the class or maybe subject, and create subtopic boards for weekly units or all worksheets. Pinterest can also be useful for students to curate a digital bibliography for the research projects, papers, or group assignments. Students can pin those websites, books, or videos to a board on a single topic and refer back to it when it is time to write. Instagram, as it is said that a picture is worth 1,000 words. So Instagram can showcase students' work by offering a place to feature student work or even interesting details about the students. Use Instagram for photo essays. In a visual heavy class, students can use Instagram to present a series of photos or graphics in a visually appealing manner. Instagram allows students to practice digital storytelling in ways that other social media platforms may not offer. The students can create class specific Instagram accounts and may delete them after the course is over if they so choose. Then another one is the YouTube. I think many people have said they are already using it. I think it is an excellent option of flipping classroom in that students can watch lectures and resources before entering the classroom. Students can create and post videos for others to view rather than do in-class oral presentations. So again, like blogging, since the material will be seen by a wider audience, students will be more apt to do their very best in creating a video, which will certainly enhance their creativity, and they will enjoy being able to express their creativity as they connect more deeply with the course material. WhatsApp groups, again, I think being used by every educational institutions. They have been created for sharing information about the class assignment or maybe the other institutional events. So I most commonly used by each one of us. LinkedIn, again, I think all the professional teaching community, they have their LinkedIn profiles made, but we will be talking about in the afternoon session how you can further enhance your visibility and credibility in this system by modifying your LinkedIn profile. So social media is also a medium where students can establish beneficial connections for their careers on LinkedIn. These days, it is one of the important platforms for networking and social credibility. Students can create their profile. It will certainly help them in getting the employment. These days, I think many times they get an opportunity to interact with the professionals on the LinkedIn through their profiles. So teachers can also find experts in their subject areas on this platform. SlideShare, again, I think familiar. Students can also make their small PPTs of their projects and can also share on this platform. So in addition, there are platforms like Quora, ResearchGate, which provide online tutorials to help the students. So this was about how we can use it in our classroom. So coming next, after talking about what exactly social media, why we need to use, and what are the different ways we can use it, what are the benefits we get out of it if we use the social media. As I said, social media has a lot to offer to the educational community. These are some of the direct benefits of social media usage for the academic world. Social media as the communication channels for easy sharing of information. So one of the most important factor, I think your teacher will agree, on which the learning experience of the student depends is the effective communication between teachers and their students. See, if no proper communication between teacher and student is available, I think both the teaching and learning will become difficult. The more connected the teachers are to their students, the more likely they are able to help students learn quickly and also at a high level. So in present times, given that internet users, the majority of which are students, use social networks mostly to keep in touch with their friends, with their classmates, with their family. It is important for teachers to explore these web based platforms that can actually be used to enhance communication between not only students, I will say all the different stakeholders of the educational system. Maybe it is student, faculty, staff, or even the parents. So this teacher student interaction will certainly contribute in understanding various learning related difficulties and solve them in the less time. The second important benefit of this social media is the engagement tool, a tool for customized one-to-one learning between learner and the tutor. Social media tools are very effective ways to increase the students' involvement in that teaching learning process. As the social features of social media resources have attracted the attention of all of us, or I will say the millions of people around the globe, these same features are also capable of drawing the attention of students to the learning opportunities also provided by their academic institutions. See, sometimes a shy student who hardly ever participates in the class may get actively engaged in co-constructing his learning experience with his teachers, collaborating with his classmates, and may feel more comfortable to express himself and share his ideas on social platform. Sometimes no people, students, they are shy enough, they hesitate to speak in the class, thinking that I may be wrong, but they do not hesitate to write or to share it on the different platform, means behind the scene, I will say, maybe on the Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. So using these collaborative and participatory tools like wikis, blogs, Google Docs, they can encourage even the shy students to become active participants rather than passive consumers of the content. So therefore, social media tools can be used to design learning activities that are interactive in nature. For example, discussion, debate, group projects. So this would enable the students to learn more from each other and interact with people beyond the classrooms also. And as a result, student would have enough opportunities to ask questions, make comments, as well as get the feedback also. So as such, they will have more chances to develop supportive relationships with the teachers. So using technology to accommodate students' different learning style, I think is not new for all of us. But the strength of social media application is that they offer variety of tools which these students can mix and match to best suit their individual learning styles and increase their academic success. The third one is the social media as the collaborative platforms. As I said, now the shift is from individual learning to the group based learning, shared learning. This is another vital benefit of the social media is that they foster collaboration. Collaboration means working together jointly. So as such, collaborative learning can be used as all group based instructional methods in which students work together in groups towards the common project. So true collaboration in educational setting requires that students move beyond than merely dividing up the assignments. It's not like that you have given them the activity and they will just define the activities and split into different parts. Okay, introduction part I will write, analysis part you write, and the conclusion part you write. It is not like that. They should be interacting on each and every part of that project, not just merely dividing up the assignment. It is not only asking the students to independently produce separate parts of the project. It actually means working together on the shared task. The core element of the collaborative learning is that emphasis is on student interactions regularly rather than on learning as a independent or the solitary activity, so that they can take advantage of the collective knowledge with each other. And on the social media, because students exchange lot of information, so why not use this platform to encourage collaborative learning? This category of collaborative social media includes wikis, which are the websites or the open forums that allow multiple users to exchange and work on the same content. And I'm not saying, even social learning theory also says that students learn best when they learn from each other. Research has also demonstrated students learn better when they are actively involved in the process, and that students working in the groups tend to learn more and retain it also for the longer time than in any other educational instructional method. Several other studies have also found that students, when they study together, they earn higher grades, they are more engaged, they are more motivated to learn. And moreover, I think by doing this kind of instructional strategies, students' problem solving skills and their teamwork skills when working in the group, they are often better enhanced in a collaborative environment. The next, I think, is anytime connectivity. As I said, it is sometimes difficult to address the all queries of the students during the classroom sessions. This makes it further difficult for the students to clear their doubts. So however, teachers can take advantage of social media technology to extend the teaching hours beyond classrooms. They can allocate dedicated time slots for online discussions to cover an unclear doubts of their students. Teachers can even stream lectures to avoid any cancellation of the classes while they are traveling. If the teacher is unavailable during the actual class time, he or she can use YouTube to record a lecture beforehand. So any time connectivity has become possible now due to the arrival of these various social media websites. You can post your question, wait for a few hours to get a solution to your queries. There is often, I think, someone to reply from the international community, because the geographical factors do not restrict most of the social networking sites to answer your query. It also helps to foster the research. Social media offers collaborative opportunities to foster the research initiatives. It is one of the best platforms to extract the secondary data. You can conduct survey pools to gather sampling and find out opinions of general people and other experts on a particular subject. So social media can help academic researchers compile and produce useful content by working on collaborative assignments and projects. Take advantage of the blogs to create virtual library. Setting up personal blog or website give teachers a lot of freedom to build intellectual credibility. They can upload their academic work and other important lectures and videos that will allow students to take relevant inputs as the reference materials for their studies. Connecting with experts on topics via social media. The great thing about using social media is that you come to know easily who are the experts in a particular field and a subject. So when you start following these experts, you learn more and gain useful content from them, which will help you to provide latest knowledge to your students. So social media has the ability to broaden your perspective on various subjects and gives you illuminating instant content that is new. You have the opportunity of engaging experts to get answers on the topics that you may need help. Students can get useful content by following these experts online. Then, as I said, social media as a marketing tool for institutions as well as for educators, as teachers. For educational institutions, social media is a great marketing tool to reach out to the prospective students. Academic institutions are communicating with students via YouTube and Facebook. These channels can be used to communicate campus news, make announcements, and provide students with the useful information. This new media has led educational professionals to build a strong marketing strategy to increase their own brand awareness. Through blogging, SlideShare, YouTube, teachers are also establishing themselves as experts in particular fields and the subjects. This empowers institutions as a whole to establish its brand equity in the academic world. And finally, of course, yes, it is a cost-effective communication. Social media is an excellent and free medium for the end user. Many teaching learning platforms are available, providing their services free of cost. And if you say in a world of social media, it looks like that educators are maybe the teacher's role is becoming less by incorporating the technology, but it is not like that. It seems as if the learners actively take responsibility and regulate their own learning, meaning that teacher is no longer in full control. But it is not like that. Teacher acts as a secondary guide, as a facilitator, and the students are encouraged to take active control in the learning process. Students actively plan their activities and assume different roles within a group instead of simply concentrating on the learning content. This allows them to achieve their learning goals and coordinate the process by agreeing on the rules and the deadlines. They plan their activities, they plan their deadlines, that by which time and what will be the role of the different students working in the group and by which time they will be able to complete it. So they own the learning activity. So as such, every member of the group may be seen as both a learner and a tutor. The students find communication with the teacher more constructive and more encouraging, and teacher can support the students by setting the right tone for discussion, contributing to develop a sense of communicating. Rather, I will say the teacher's role becomes more important, more challenging to provide that environment to the students where they can collaboratively construct knowledge, can have discussions amongst themselves on the topic. So finally coming to, I think this is the way we were earlier, a typical teachers network. We used to have some kind of print and the digital resources with all of us, or maybe the certain interaction with our colleagues, with the curriculum documents. We were providing one way, we were transferring the knowledge from the teacher to the students. But at present, this is the way we are. There is a complete transformation of chalk and talk teacher to a digital teacher, the networked teacher. Yes, this looks like a little overwhelming, but it really does not take too long to do some investigation and to figure out what pieces are important to you in your professional life, what can be used in your maybe traditional and virtual classrooms. Most of these tools, I tell you, are very easy and can be mastered with little help or maybe with no help at all. But use of these tools will give your students some new and exciting ways to demonstrate their learning, and at the same time can provide alternatives for matching activities with their learning styles. The only important part is what changes must we make in our teaching as it becomes easier to bring primary resources to our students? How do we need to rethink our ideas of education when we must prepare our students to become not only readers and writers, but editors and collaborators and publishers as well? What needs to change about our curriculum when our students have the ability to reach far beyond our classroom walls? How can we as learners begin to take advantage of the opportunities these tools present so we may understand more clearly the pedagogies of using them in the classroom? The key part is to be only thinking about those pedagogical aspects and to start creating opportunity for students to use those tools in their learning. So I have left 4 questions before you. Already we have content with us, how we can change our instructional strategy, how we can integrate that technology, how we can change our pedagogical practices so as to provide latest to our student as per the need of the individual students. So next, as I said, every technology has its negative as well as the positive impact on the society, but we had many positive impacts on the society. As the time passing by, social media has started creating some negative impacts also on today's society, because with millions of us engrossed with this unhealthy addiction, I will say. So coming first to our positive impacts, I think Google has helped students in their education using these tools. By spending so much time working with new technologies, I think students have developed more familiarity with the computers and other electronic devices and the softwares which are available for them for learning. With the increased focus on technology in education has helped the students build those skills that will aid them throughout their lives, because they will all have to be tech savvy. We are all becoming digital. I think this will go a long way throughout their lives. Maybe it is their personal or it is their professional lives. Talents got discovered faster. Students who were good at programming got their names out there easily. Students who were good in singing, good in music, got their videos out and shared, leading them to their dreams. So being able to get instant feedback from friends and family on their creative outlets helps students refine and develop their artistic abilities and can provide much needed confidence or help them decide what career path they want to pursue. Another positive impact, lot of students now are able to inform public about their issues using social media, which brought awareness and helped solve a lot of problems also. Maybe the social problems, they get connected with each other through the media. Teachers may post on social media about class activities, school events, homework assignments, which will be very useful to them. The ease and speed with which users can upload pictures, videos, stories, this has resulted in a great amount of sharing of creative works. It is seen that social media marketing has been emerging as a career option for many of the students. So these are some of the positive impacts on the people. And coming to the negative impact, I think the popularity of social media and the speed at which information is published has created a lax attitudes towards proper spelling and grammar. This reduces students' ability to effectively write about relying on a computer spell check feature even. And I think with the new features, with the AI and chat GPT, I think things are becoming more easy now. So many students rely on the accessibility of information on social media and the web to provide answers. That means a reduced focus on learning and retaining information. Our ability to retain information has decreased, and willingness to spend more time researching and looking up good information has reduced due to the fact that we got used to ease of accessibility to information on social media. Students prefer to chat with friends for hours together, and this leads to waste of time that could have been used for study or maybe learning new skills. Students who attempt to multitask, checking social media sites while studying, this show reduced academic performance also. Their ability to concentrate on the task hand is significantly reduced by the distractions also that are brought about by YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. The more time students spend on social sites, the less time they spend socializing in person and are losing their people skills. Because of social media, students lose their ability to engage themselves for face to face communication. बस जस्ट एक मैसेज भेजने से ही काम चल जाता है. They are hardly interacting with each other. And one of the biggest breakdown of social media in education is the privacy issues, like posting personal information on online sites. Because students, I think, come in contact with many other people whom they never had met before or seen before, even had talked before. They share their very personal and private information, which many times may be misused or used for the wrong deeds. So this is very challenging task which is being faced by the social media. Many of the bloggers and writers post wrong information also on the social site, which also misleads the people. And finally, I think the health issues due to the use of social Networking sites for long hours create multiple of health issues because of continuous accessing of networking site may create an eyesight problem, back pain because of sitting in the same position for longer hours, and many more. I think mental health related issues has also come up. But nevertheless, I will say use of social media is beneficial but should be used in a limited way without getting addicted. It is not all evil really if you use it carefully. So, finally, concluding, social media is the future of communication. It includes an array of internet based tools and platforms that increase and enhance the experience of sharing information. Social media plays an increasingly important role in higher education. It is rapidly evolving field, so there is plenty of potential to integrate social media platforms and tools in students' learning. Teachers will have to adopt ways to incorporate these platforms into their coursework and student interactions if they are not doing it so already, to keep up with ever growing digital world and encourage 21st century learning. So this is what I wanted to share with you all. I have just given you an overview, I will say, of the entire course. I have made you aware about all those tools which are available with us, but we will be talking in detail about how to use these tools in our classrooms. I have only told you about what tools, but how we can use in our classroom. I think those all details will be dealt with our computer professionals, and they will give you complete demonstration about that. So, with these words, thank you so much. This is what I wanted to share with you during this presentation.
since the session is on LinkedIn for greater visibility, credibility, and networking, and that too, as I always share in the afternoon session, the afternoon sessions are the most difficult sessions. One online session, afternoon session, it's very difficult to keep people awake throughout that 1.5 hours, right? Had it been a case in contact mode, the things would have been different. But afternoon session online mode is difficult for the resource person as well as for the people who are a part of this particular program, right? So thank you so much, Sonakshi ma'am, to see your particular comments here, and I'm also happy to see you again on this particular program. I think the earlier program was a different one in which you attended this attended my particular session, right? So with these
Yes,
words,
sir.
yeah. So thank you, Sonakshi ma'am. So I'll start this session on LinkedIn for greater visibility, credibility, and networking. And as we go ahead in this particular session, we'll unfold all three parts one by one, whether it is visibility, credibility, and networking. And I'll request all the faculty members from different institutions and universities to please participate in the discussions. I have also kept one assessment which is divided into three different parts. Rama ma'am knows about this particular assessment which is on LinkedIn. Rama ma'am, if you remember, this assessment was earlier in one particular part, means in one particular document, all three sections were covered. Now I have split that particular document into three different parts. So as and when we'll go into visibility, credibility, or networking, we'll go for a self-assessment on that also on our LinkedIn profile, right? So before we start this particular program, while talking on LinkedIn for greater visibility, networking, and credibility, networking, and credibility, there are few questions which I would like to know from our dear faculty members present here. When we talk about our LinkedIn profile, if you can just write it in the chat box, how long you have been using your LinkedIn profiles. Please feel free to write it in the chat box. That will give me an idea that among these 350 faculty members present here, how many of us are using it for quite for a long time, which is like more than 2 or 3 years, and somebody who is using more than 10 years, 7 years is also a very good time. Okay, Narendra Pandey ji is using it for 6 years. Ashima ma'am is using it for 6 years, 5 years, more than 10 years. Sonakshi ma'am, 2 years, 8 years by Sachin ji. Ankita says almost 6 years, 7 years. Saroj Kumar Gupta ji says he says 10 years, 8 months, 2 years, 8 months, 5 years, 3 years, 2 years. I'm just taking an average out of these particular answers that we'll be having in the comment box. I'll get some idea what is the average. 17 years, very good. Good to see Parul ma'am. And I'm also using LinkedIn for more than you can say 17 years, or it's almost 19 years. I started in 2005 using LinkedIn. 7 years, right? So just to take an approximate, I think most of you are using it for more than 5 years now, right? And another question, if you see it on the screen, I have written since the time you have created your profile, how often you have made changes in the same. Let's have some answers on this. Since the time you have created your profile, how often you have made changes in your particular profile. No issues, Priyanka ma'am. If you're not using it, let's make a promise here. Once we leave this particular session, we should create our LinkedIn profile. And if you're finding any difficulty, either you can get in touch with me or you can get in touch with people who are in your network who are using it.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So Neelam ma'am says once she has changed. Somebody says 2 or 3 times. Sachinji says 3 times. Parul ma'am says only once. Okay, okay. So again, the average answer is 2 or 3 times they have made changes, whether it is they are using it for 2 years, 5 years, 7 years. And Kunal Srivastava sir says it's 12 years, being using it for past 12 years. Very good, Kunal sir. Kunal sir, can you also answer the second question? Since the time you have created your profile, how often you have made changes in the same? Good to see, Hima ma'am, you have written every time when I achieve career achievement, it's updated promptly. It's good to see that particular answer in the chat box. Moses says 4 times. Okay, Kunal sir says last month was the last update, and Rajni Kamboj ma'am says 7 years. She has been using it, right? So now let's go to the third question, which says, do you believe that making changes to your profile can make an impact on the visibility, credibility, and networking? If yes, why do you make changes? Or you can club it with the fourth question also. What is that which will power your LinkedIn profile? Or in other words, what is an important aspect while building your LinkedIn profile? When we are building a LinkedIn profile, what is an important aspect that we keep in mind when we are working on these three things: visibility, networking, or credibility? Yes, can we have some answers on this? The last two questions which can be clubbed together. What is that which basically prompts us to change our LinkedIn profile? It can be in terms of keywords, it can be in terms of adding some new positions. So, what is that which prompts us to go for that?
Sir,
Yes, ma'am.
the thing which prompts me is whenever there is some additional professional achievements, I would like to know my professional network the same.
Hmm.
So therefore, I make changes regularly.
Very right, Sonakshi, ma'am. And Saroj, ma'am says, yes, it makes changes because every company is looking for every time adding new professional things. Neelam ma'am says, and Kunal also says, relevant visibility to build and grow a network professionally. Let me put the questions very straightforwardly to you, or very specifically to you. When we make our particular changes in our LinkedIn profile, what are the things that we keep in mind? Thank you, Dr. Baines, for sharing, posting profile update. You change your particular profile. But what is that which basically prompts us to change our LinkedIn profile? Otherwise, in the starting, when we were talking about this, I think you have used change it 2 or 3 times on an average. But there are other people who have changed it more frequently also. So, what is that which prompts us to bring changes to our particular profile? Shiv sir says to expand the network. Then Subramanian ji says LinkedIn connecting with different interests, recent activities, achievement, accomplishments, professional updates to increase the visibility to connect with other people. So the answer for these all questions, I'll take you ahead on this. The answer for these all questions is social listening. Any idea what is social listening, which prompts us to change our particular profile? Let it be in case in terms of updating your professional achievements, as most of the faculty members were sharing here, or it can be in terms of your education, enhancing your education part also. So social listening is the answer for that. Any idea what is social listening? Social listening is basically a process of tracking conversations around specific topics, keywords, phrases, or the phrases or keywords which are used by different brands or industries, and leveraging your insights to discover opportunities or create content for those audiences. Or in other words, social listening allows us to monitor keywords and mention, understand more about our target audience and industry, discover potential leads, engage with our audience to see what they are talking about, identify some top influences and potential brand ambassadors in that industry, and content research to see what is and is not working. So this is the way we get an idea about different keywords which are being used related to our particular domain, and accordingly we also update our particular profile based on that. So in simple words, social listening is knowledge about the keyword, knowledge about the market, knowledge about different brands or industries, how they are creating an impact on uh, their digital media presence. Now let's unfold visibility, networking, and credibility one by one. Before we go into visibility, where we'll talk about how we can increase the visibility of our particular profile, I'm pasting a link in the chat box in which we'll do a self assessment of our own profile in terms of its visibility. Vijeta ma'am, you have raised your hand. I think you have some question. So I'll answer the question first and then I'll go forward with the link in the chat box. And good to see answers from Neelam ma'am, Narendra sir, and Dr. Ritu. They are saying we join with lots of different types of people and working in different areas. And Narendra Pandey sir says new development in the field prompts us to make changes in our particular profile. And Dr. Ritu says comparing your social media performance. Very right, ma'am. Very close to that social listening part that you have shared here. Vijeta ma'am, can you please type your question in the chat box, or I'll request you to take it towards the end. I think let's not break the flow of the session. And please keep in mind your question. We'll take it towards the question and answers part towards the end of the program. Till that time, we'll go forward, and I have pasted a link in the chat box. And there is a link of downloading a document on self-assessment of your visibility of LinkedIn. So I'll request dear faculty members to please click on this link, download the Word document from there. And once you'll open that Word document, this document contains 15 statements. In simple way, you have to, for each of those 15 statements, you have to either write yes or no when you compare it to your LinkedIn profile. Those 15 statements which are written about your LinkedIn profile in that document. Simply your answer should be in yes or no. And this document will be having 15 statements. For each of these 15 statements, you have to compare it to your LinkedIn profile, and for each of these 15 statements, you have to answer whether it is yes or no. And these documents will be at your particular pace only. You don't have to share it back to us, neither with me or nor with Rama ma'am. This is for your own self-assessment. Done, Hima ma'am. Thank you so much for confirming. For those 15 statements, you have to write either yes or no. Okay, thank you so much, Geeta ma'am, for confirming. Done. And please be very honest in writing yes or no, because I'm not asking to send back that particular document to me. So the more honest you are, that will help you to build your profile, and if there are any gaps, you'll also be able to identify those gaps. So thank you so much. Most of the faculty members are writing it. They are done with it. Narendra sir, Dr. Ritu, Namrata ma'am, and academic coordinator of some institution. I am not sure which institution it is. Arun sir also says done. Sanjeev sir, NMAMIT is also done. Okay, so I'll assume that most of the faculty members have completed this assessment, right? Now I'll be telling you how we have to do the scoring part. Since I'll be disclosing it with you how you have to do the scoring part, you'll come to know how the scoring part is done for this assessment. And going forward, when we'll go with the other two assessments also, which is on your networking and credibility, be very honest in giving yes or no for those statements also. So for the first assessment, which is done on the visibility, I'll request all faculty members to do a total of number of yes. Just to give you an example, in those 15 statements, if you have answered yes for 10 statements, so your score should come as 10 out of 15. You only have to total the number of yes in your particular document. You don't have to consider no. Thank you so much, Narendra sir. 10, Mr. Dhanlakshmi Rangarao ji, She says 7 out of 15. Resend link. I'm sending it once again in the chat box. 11 says NMAMIT. Alok G. Link is already there in the chat box. Dr. Sushil says 13 out of 15. Okay. Okay. So let me share it with you. If your score is more than 80%, that means if your score is 12 and above, I'm not going too much into I'm not going into the minute details of this. If your score is 45 out of 50 is a different thing, in which I have taken the grand total of all three different areas. But I'll not show this particular screen to you because this has to be done towards the end, right? If your score is 12 or more than that, then that means your visibility of your particular profile is very good. So I think around 4 or 5 faculty members are having a score of 12 and above. Parul Sharma ma'am is also having, I think Narendra sir was also having 12. 13 was another score by Dr. Sushil. Rest of the people, they have to work on their LinkedIn profile. I'll be sharing that legend part after the end of the session with the Rama ma'am, and that can be shared with all of you, right? So now let's go into the visibility part. Since most of you are done with your particular assessment or visibility part, my dear faculty members, my question to you is, what is that which helps us in increasing our chances of being found by the right people more often? Or in simple terms, what is that which will help us in increasing the visibility of our particular profile? Yes. What is that which will help us in increasing the visibility of our profile? Vijeta ma'am, if your audio part is working good, I think you can unmute and share what you wanted to share. You are again raising the hand. Okay. I'm again, once again repeating my question. What is that which will help us to increase the visibility of our profile? Thank you, faculty members, for confirming your scores here. Now, my question to all of you is, what will help us to increase the visibility of our LinkedIn profile?
Hello.
Yes, Vinika ma'am, please go ahead.
Sir, be strategic and post frequently
Okay, post frequently is one.
and
Very right.
reach to our target audience.
Reach to our target audience. Thank you, Vinika ma'am. And we have more answers. Rahul sir says sharing quality content. Then we have Kunal sir saying relevant groups and interactions, posting videos, photos, and activities. Right. Updation of professional skills. Okay. Apart from this, are there any other things that need to be taken care of when we talk about the visibility of our profile using optimized keywords? Dr. Ritu says, and Shahrukh Kaushal says sharing quality content consistently. Engagement, Narendra sir says. Okay, right, sir. Narendra sir, engagement, we'll take it into the credibility part. Dr. Ranjini says highlighted qualification, certification size is one, very right. Content quality, yes. Okay. Apart from this, are we leaving any other thing? And to give you an idea, when we talk about the visibility of our profile, The moment we log into our particular profile and we land to the home page of our particular profile, and once we visit our profile, there are few things which we see on the top of our profile. Those are certain things which we are missing in the visibility part, which we are not sharing it here. I think Ritu ma'am has started it. Dr. Ritu says image. So Dr. Ritu, one question based on this, very right, that is image. There are two types of images there. Parul ma'am says highlighting your projects. Yes ma'am, that also helps in increasing the visibility. So coming close to what Ritu ma'am has shared, uh, Narendra sir, profile viewers will go into networking part. You are right on this, but that will fall under networking part. Dr. Sushil has also shared one of the good things, headlines along with continuous basis of activity sharing and discussing media on media, tagging words, right? Summing up what Dr. Sushil says and Dr. Ritu is saying, image, this thing can be categorized into background image. Okay, Ritu ma'am, I'll
Sir,
go.
using a professional profile photo and a relevant background image.
Very right, ma'am. Very right. So profile image and the cover image. Profile image is the one which is in the circle. I'll show it to you during one of means I can show it to you here itself. If other people who are not having their LinkedIn profile, they are not having an idea what I'm talking about. I'll show it here on the screen also. So when we talk about the visibility of our profile, we have to work on optimizing our LinkedIn introduction card. And to make it easier for other people to understand, if all faculty members allow, I'll stop screen sharing of this, what I'm presenting it here, and I'll go to my LinkedIn profile and I'll show it to you. When we talk about optimizing our LinkedIn introduction card, what are the three things that we should take care of when we are optimizing our LinkedIn introduction card? So I'll stop presenting my screen here and I'll open the LinkedIn profile here itself. So that will give an idea how we have to optimize our LinkedIn introduction card. So if you see the background image in which it is written, transform your business and HR with us. And again, there are certain things which are written in blue color, and I have pasted one of my photographs in which I am taking a session on managing stress. So this is a background image, or you can say the cover image of the LinkedIn introduction card. And the one in which I am seeing in the front, which is in circle, is the profile image. And if you see just below my name, it's written 36K plus professional trained. That is basically the LinkedIn headline. These are the three things which we should work first, because the moment anybody visits our particular profile, these are the three or four things that the person will see when they'll visit our particular profile, which we take it under as take it under optimizing our LinkedIn introduction card. Now I'll stop presenting it, and similarly you can check your particular profile also. If this is not filled, I'll request all dear faculty members. I'm writing the website here, which I think most of the faculty members who are using it for more than 2 or 3 years now, they might be aware of this. Just go to www.canva.com, right, and you'll find out ready-made templates for making this cover image, the background image, which Dr. Ritu was also sharing. So those templates can be found in Canva. You can use those particular templates, edit those templates, and you can make your particular cover image, right? When we talk about profile image, most of you are professionals. So but again, since I have been given this responsibility of talking about LinkedIn, so I'll be very straightforward with you. Don't paste those images in which you are either looking towards up or towards on the side. It should be the front facing image, as if the person is talking to you. So that should be the right kind of image, cover image, that should be pasted there. And LinkedIn headline should talk something about the kind of services that you offer, or the domain in which you are, which talks about what kind of outputs we will be giving. That can be one way. Another way is if you're handling multiple roles, that can be also highlighted in the LinkedIn headline part. So that should be there. I am stopping the presentation of this screen now, and I'll go back to the last pointer, which is on again on the visibility of our LinkedIn profile. I'll go to the second part because we have covered the first part, which is optimizing our LinkedIn introduction card. Now let's go to the second part, for which few of the faculty members they have already shared their inputs. That by sharing status updates and LinkedIn publisher articles, that can also help us in increasing the visibility of our particular profile. Any idea why do we use hashtags in our particular posts? Hashtags. I'll request faculty members, since they are also using it for a long time now. You all are aware of that. Why do we use hashtags in LinkedIn posts? To read quickly.
So to enhance visibility and engagement.
Right, ma'am. And apart from our particular name, sometimes people will also search profiles related to certain keywords. Tavisha, ma'am, what is your domain?
Sir, I'm assistant professor in DAV University. I did PhD in botany.
A PhD in
Botany.
botany. Okay, right. So somebody who is looking for some people who are from botany background, they might use such keywords. Tavisha, ma'am, can you share certain keywords related to your particular domain area? Since I am not from that background, so I'll not be the right person. From there, we'll take it forward on the importance of keywords. Why we should use those keywords. And it's good to see answers from other faculty members also to better reach, filter the needs at specific audience, categorize and track content on social media. Yes, Tavisha ma'am, can we have some keywords from your field, botany?
Yeah, sure, sir. Like plant science, plant biology, plant research.
Right. So as we all understand, like suppose if we want to have sort of workshop or even seminar on plant science also, maybe these kind of keywords would be used by people who are looking out for experts in this particular area. And apart from the direct connections who can search you from names, second degree and third degree connections can also search you if you are using the right kind of keywords related to your particular domain. I'm happy to see the kind of responses we are having it in chat box. That shows that most of our dear faculty members, they are still awake at 3-7 in this afternoon, hot afternoon time, right? And lastly is engaging with our network. So what are some of the ways we engage with our network? Yes, what can be some of the ways which we all know? How do we engage with our network? We engage with our network sometimes responding on their particular, you can say, post, adding some new perspective or views on that particular post that the person has posted. Because one way is you are posting your articles, but till the time you don't engage with people in your particular network responding to their particular view posts, people will not search for your particular profile. The moment you start writing on that, sometime other people who are viewing those particular, you can say, views written by you, if they find it very suitable, they might have that curiosity to visit your particular profile, right? Thank you so much, Ashima ma'am, by sharing another view by posting on frequent basis. Narendra sir says we can take opinion related by any other topic, right? So let's go to the second part, since it is 3:08 now, and we have to complete it by 4 o'clock. So I'll go to the second part, which is talking about the networking part. We'll take credibility towards the last because I think credibility is the most important when we talk about LinkedIn profile. Thank you so much, Dr. Sushil, for giving your views. Discussion on current and ongoing issues can be also one of the ways of engaging with our network. Now let's go to the second part which talks about increasing the networking or of our particular profile. I'm skipping this particular part because this is just a view of how Meloni has basically optimized her LinkedIn introduction card And when we talk about posting articles, this is one of the ways she has shown that how she has published this article along with writing two, you can say, lines about the entire article which she has published. So that I'll be sharing it with the Rama ma'am, this presentation. So this would be having, this thing would be there in that particular presentation, right? So let's go to the second part, networking, and again, let's go into the self-assessment of our networking of our own LinkedIn profile. And again, here comes the second link, which will give you an idea how good you are in building your particular LinkedIn network. Here it comes in the chat box in front of you. So you can download this document from there itself. Again, this document would also have 15 statements and same instructions I am giving it to you. Simply have to answer yes or no for each of those 15 statements. I'm repeating the instructions once again. Download the document from the link which is there in the chat box. And once you download that document and open the document, it will have 15 statements. For each of these 15 statements, you have to compare it with your LinkedIn profile and answer it either in yes or no. Even if you are having a doubt about any statement, whether that is there in your profile or not, for that the answer should be no if you are having a doubt. Narendra Pandey 10. And if you see the document from another point of view, wherever you are writing no, that means you have to build that particular section of your profile in order to improve whether it is networking, visibility, or the credibility part. So I think most of you are scoring either 10 or less than 10. So that means we all have to work on the networking part of our profile. Dr. Ritu says 9, and I'm happy to see honest answers from the faculty members. Otherwise, they now know how to do the scoring part, so they could have answered yes for most of those statements, but they are honest. I'm happy to see all dear faculty members are very honest in giving their scores. 8 out of 15, 10 out of 15, 9 out of 15. So again, if you take the Legion part, if you have scored 12 or above 12, that means you are very good in the networking of your LinkedIn profile. But if the score is low, if the score is between 10 to 12, that is also good. But below 10, that means you have to work a lot on increasing the networking of your profile. Thank you so much, faculty members, for sharing your scores here. Now let's go deeper into this, how we can work on improving the networking of our particular profile. So networking, which you all know, is filling our LinkedIn profile with quality contacts. And how we can build network. There are again 3 different ways of building our network. Those ways can be review who has viewed your profile, because people who are looking for such kind of, you can say, specialities, the domain in which you are working, once they use different keywords and they visit their profile, that shows somehow they are getting interested in either taking your services, or if you are looking for a job, that means either they are looking to hire you for that particular role, right? Second is filling in LinkedIn company page people section. Any idea how this will help us in increasing the network of our particular profile? Or let's take an example. Let's take any one of the faculty members as you can say institution owner, right? How filling in LinkedIn company page people section will help us in improving the networking part. Sheetal ma'am, if you are not having a LinkedIn profile, I'll suggest please talk to your faculty members, take their particular help in building their your LinkedIn profile, or otherwise in the presentation I have shared my number also. You can get in touch with me after taking a permission from Rama ma'am, and I can help you in building your LinkedIn profile. Or the best way is if you look at other profiles, you'll get an idea what kind of things they are filling in their profile. Say on those particular basis, you start building your profile. Yes, can we have some answers? How filling in LinkedIn company page people section will improve the networking of our profile? I'm putting up my question once again. How filling in LinkedIn company page people section will help us in improving the networking of our profile? Thank you so much, dear faculty members, for sharing your score. Now let's get to or let's talk about how we can improve the networking of our profile. No idea about LinkedIn company page? Okay, Narendra sir, any idea once you created your profile and you mentioned certain institutions in which you have worked, the moment you write their particular name, it shows you in the drop down with the logo of that particular institution. I hope you have some idea about that. And the moment you select it, it shows on your profile with the logo of that profile. Right? You got it, Narendra sir, now, right? So that means that company's page was already existing there. So I'm sharing this networking part both from the company's point of view as well as from the individual's point of view, right? So let's take Narendra sir's answers as the example for the second pointer, which is talking about filling in LinkedIn company page. So once that institution page was there, and the moment Narendra sir filled up that particular institution in his particular profile, it was highlighted in his profile also that he's also one of the, you can say, teammates of this particular institution, or one of the, you can say, faculty members from, let's say, which department you are from, Narendra sir? Okay, you're from pharmacy department, lovely professional university, right? So it shows that Narendra sir is a faculty member with LPU. So the moment other people, they also leave this particular lovely professional university, but still it will show in that particular, you can say, page. So in this particular way, the company's page will also increase the network, and people who are searching for LPU, they'll also find Narendra sir's profile there. So once we have this particular company page, whether people who are left or who are already working with this organization, they'll be able to access network of other people through that particular profiles also. This is how we improve the networking of our particular profile in one of the other ways. And third is joining LinkedIn groups. Now again, there is a question for all of you. When we talk about joining different LinkedIn groups, right? Should you join only LinkedIn groups related to your domain only? Why, Narendra sir? You are saying no. You are right on this. The answer is no. But why we should join other groups also apart from our own domain? Depends on the aura of the department, says Sudhakar ji. Divya Khanna says no. No, sir. Very right. All of you are right. It's not only the same domain groups that you should join, but why we should join other domain groups also for collaborative work. Payal ma'am says no. Says Sanjeev ji also. Again, I'm putting my question: why we should join other industry groups also? Because it gives you experience, exposure, enhances vision. Parul ma'am says. Then Rekha Vijayji says, yeah, we should be domain specific. Okay, Rekha ma'am, you should be domain specific. I'll answer from both point of view. You should be domain specific only when you have planned to pursue your particular career in that particular domain only. Otherwise, I would suggest, as other faculty members have also written, it's better to join some linked groups also. I'll give you an example. Since I am from HR field, I'll give you now example from my particular own field only, right? I am into HR, and the moment I plan to go into analytics, maybe next 1 year or 2 year or next few months, I should have some idea about HR analytics or business analytics also. So it's not my domain specific group, but where I want to pursue my career after few years, or let's say after few months also. So based on that, we should join those particular groups. And Kunal sir also says depends on the objective why you are here on this platform in the first place. Very right. So it depends upon your particular objective, or you can see your particular goals also, what you want to achieve going further in your particular life. Now again, another question on this: when we join different LinkedIn groups, what kind of groups we should join? Whether it should be more number of people in the group, or the more active group is that we should join. Which kind of groups we should join? Lakshmiji, for sharing, discovering new ideas. Groups are powerful tools. Very right. And nowadays we can also find collaborative articles on LinkedIn, which is another way of networking, or you can say even increasing the credibility of your profile. More active group, Monica Agarwal ma'am says very right. That means the group which are having regular posts shows that those groups are more active in nature. So you'll also find out certain groups which is having good number of people in the groups, but those groups over last few months or last few years have become very inactive. So based on the vibrancy, or you can say more activity on that group in recent few months, shows these are the groups that we should join. Right, now let's go to the third part, which talks about the credibility of our particular profile. And when we say credibility, we all know that is nothing more than online reputation management of your own profile. So online reputation management is quality of being trustworthy or believable, which is called as online reputation management. And now again, let's dive into the third part, which is the last part of our particular session on LinkedIn. And for this particular section, let me share it with you, my dear faculty members. I have increased the number of statements. Instead of 15 statements, now you'll find out 20 statements in this particular section. And for me, if I talk about my own profile also, I say credibility is the most important part, because if the credibility goes down, and I hope most of the faculty members present here, they'll also agree with this. If our credibility goes down, somehow our networking and visibility will be ultimately affected. So that is the reason I have taken the credibility part towards the last, rather than talking it right in the starting. So this is the link from where you can download the third document, which is on credibility and which is having 20 statements. I'm repeating it once again. This document, Kunal says, I'll be sharing this PPT with Rama ma'am once I complete this session. Before the end of the day, I'll be sharing this PPT with the ma'am. And Word documents you already have, you all have with you itself. Regarding recording part, Kunal sir, you can get in touch with Rama ma'am. I think she'll be the right person to clarify that thing. So once again, I am repeating the instructions. Download the document from the link provided in the chat box, which talks about credibility of your profile. There are 20 statements for which you have to calculate the scores out of 20. The number of yes out of 20. Dhanlakshmi ma'am has already completed it. 12 out of 20. And again, for those statements, the answer should be in yes or no. And you have to count the number of yes. Good to see Moses saying 14 out of 20. Lakshmi, I'm saying 13 out of 20. And Dr. Sangeeta is asking for the link again. Here comes the link again, Sangeeta ma'am. Sudhakar ji says 9 out of 20. Sachin sir says 15 out of 20. Very good score, Sachin sir. And Arun sir 13 out of 20. Narendra sir 13 out of 20. 9 out of 15. We'll wait for another 2 minutes till the time other faculty members they also complete it. Good to see a lot of people scoring 14, 15, above 10 also. Meenakshi ma'am 15. Dr. Shashil 15 out of 20. Happy to see the way you all are doing the self-assessment. Very honest scores you are sharing it here. 14 out of 20, 13 out of 20. Kuldeep sir says 11 out of 20. So I assume more than 50% of our faculty members, they have already attempted this last assessment, which was on the credibility of our particular profile. And this is a very good score, Kunal sir. 16 out of 20, 80%. And again, if you remember the legend I was saying, if it is 80% and above, that means you are good in that particular part, very good in that particular part, right? The rest, the scales part, the legend part, I'll be sharing in the PPT also. That will give us an idea. And wherever we have scored less, those statement itself will guide you that you have to work on those particular sections of your profile, whether it is in terms of visibility, networking, or credibility. Thank you so much, faculty members, for sharing your scores here. And let's go ahead with this when we talk about credibility part, which is online reputation management. So we all understand that pre-internet days, when internet was not there, brands, people, and companies, they used to control what was being said about them. So gone are those days. Now anything, whatever you say right now, will come either on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook. So now each and everything can be recorded. And now credibility is, the internet is the first impression now. And whenever we are talking to any particular client, or let's say a prospective employer also, they Google about us when we are speaking on the phone. Let's suppose if I am looking for something like professor of practice, and the moment I am talking to somebody in the HR department of that institution or university, they can simply Google my name and they can check whether this person should be hired or not. So anything can say, anyone can say anything, and it shows up online. So even if I bluff also, they'll be able to find it out whether this person is genuine or not. And people, they don't ask for references anymore. They can search Google and they'll be able to find out each and everything about that particular person. So online reputation management is basically our image on the internet, and it is about improving or restoring our name, or you can say brand's good standing in the market, right? Any idea when we Google ourselves, or you can say when we Google about some person or any company, what are some of the facts which will come up, or which can help us in knowing whether this company is the right company to go for or not, or whether this person is good to be hired or not? Any facts which Google shares? Okay, let me take it for you. If you look for services or advice in professional capacity, 44% of the adults, they search online about someone whose services or advice they seek in professional capacity. 50% of all internet users over the age of 18, they always leave a review online, whether it was a, if we talk about any particular job also, whether it was a good experience or bad experience. We all understand Mouth Shut is one of the websites. Similarly, there are other websites also, Glassdoor and some other websites, which will help us in knowing a review of that particular employer, whether it is employee friendly or not. And based on that, sometimes we make a decision whether we should shift our particular company or not. And this is one which I am sharing it with you. But if you see the other things, in terms of product research, when we are buying any particular product, 78% of the internet users, they conduct product research online. They believe reviews are the most credible form of advertising. And the last part, when we are talking about purchasing decisions, 80% of the people, they surveyed and they have changed their purchase decision due to bad review they saw online about any particular product or service. That we all understand. So I don't have to specifically tell you how important is the social media, and how important is how you have to build the credibility of your profile, because anything and everything, even if you bluff also, people will find it online, because there are people who will be giving a review about our particular, you can say, as a professional, what kind of person we are, or as a, if you are an entrepreneur also, they'll give a review about what kind of entrepreneur or what kind of company this particular person is having, how are their particular products or services. So everything, anything and everything can be find out on internet. Lastly, I'll talk about two different things. What are some of the don'ts that we should do when we talk about building the credibility of our profile? So can any one of you answer what are some of the don'ts? Or let me take it very easily for you, and then we'll go to the do's. In terms of the don'ts that we have to keep in mind when we are building our LinkedIn credibility, we have to avoid forceful or angry language. Forceful or angry language. Can any one of you share any example here, or any instances that they can share related to this? Flaming shouldn't be done to vent anger, anguish, and hatred towards someone. Right. So thank you so much, Kunal sir, for writing this. This gives a spark to one of the, you can say, example that I am sharing it here. Let's suppose, Kunal sir, don't take it otherwise. I'm taking this as an example, right? Let's suppose Kunal sir and me, we don't share a very good relation, right? And I have posted some article here. I have posted some article here, right? And the moment I post that particular article here, or let's take it the other way around, I'll take the negative role, right? I'll not give the negative role to Kunal sir. Kunal sir has posted an article related to any particular. Kunal sir, what is your domain? Thank you, Payalman. Okay, communication skills is Kunal sir's domain. So let's suppose Kunal sir has written an article on communication skills, right? And take it from the other point of view, or I also have a background of communication skills, right? And the moment he posts that particular article, this is one article, but whenever he's posting it, I am writing my views, but in a way which is not aligned with what he has written, right? One way is he can straightforwardly write, Hitesh, I don't agree with Hitesh views. Another way of avoiding a forceful language is I understand Hitesh views on this article on communication skills, but my perspective is this. So in this particular way, we all understand what Kunalji is doing is he's disagreeing with me, but respectfully. So he's saying, I understand what Hitesh is conveying here, but this is my perspective. He's not cutting my particular views there, but he's saying I am understanding your viewpoint, but this is what he means to say through this communication skills. And rest of the people who are already reading his article can decide whether the views that Kunalji has expressed or Hitesh has expressed is right or not, right? So in this way, he is not using any forceful or angry language. So he's disagreeing, but with some respect for the other person also. And don't assume that negative comment is bad for business, which we all understand. Sometimes what we do is the moment we see any negative comment on LinkedIn, sometimes we try to delete that particular comment. Am I right or am I wrong? Right, disagreeing with logic, but what I meant to say was if we have to disagree with the logic, also we have to give respect to the person who has written that particular thing. So even if he was not Kunalji was not agreeing with my particular logic, but he disagreed in a very graceful way in which I also didn't felt bad about it, right? Sir, Saurabh sir, you don't have to send the assignment submission. If it is for some other program, you can get it from Native. But otherwise, for my particular session, there are no assignment submission from my side. Those assessments
Okay.
are for your own, you can say, record only. So you don't have to
Okay,
send
sir.
it back,
Okay,
right?
thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Saurabh sir. And we should not try deleting those particular comments which is being written on our particular, let's say, page or on a particular profile. And the best way to avoid that is that I'll talk to you regarding the best way to avoid that is in the do's part of the online reputation management. Third is don't insist that you are right if you're wrong or threaten legal action. And lastly, don't comment on anything negatively without any concrete proof or evidence. Sometimes we get angered very easily and we start writing negatively about that. That will also show something about your particular own nature also. This is another thing that we should avoid doing while we are building the credibility of our particular profile. And while going about do's of online reputation management, if you again remember the same example that I was sharing regarding Kunal sir and me, how he was able to turn negative to positive by gracefully disagreeing to what I have shared and then putting his particular point of view and then letting the viewers to decide to which particular perspective do they agree, because every person agrees to one sort of perspective or second sort of perspective. It's not necessary that everybody would agree to only one kind of perspective only. Second is spreading your page and other social networking sites. So if you remember again, I was saying in the don'ts part, if you don't remember it, I'll again take you back to the don'ts part. In don't part, the second part was uh, don't assume that negative comment is bad for business. And as I said, there are ways of making that comment go down in that particular page or on down on that particular post. And the solution for that is here, which is written on the second point in the do's, which says flood your page and other social network sites with good content to push that negative comments off the front page. The moment you delete it from your particular profile or page, it shows that that particular negative comment is is making an effect on you, and you are reacting to that particular comment. So the positive way of means delete positive way of pushing that particular content down in the pages, flood your page or other networking sites with good content, and distinguish between argument and constructive criticism. Again, the same example that I shared regarding Dr. Kunal and me, the way he the way he converted, it would have gone into an argument if he would have said that I disagree with the viewpoints that Hitesh has written. But constructively, he disagreed and he has put forward his point of view. So you have to distinguish between argument and criticism, constructive criticism here. And some of the other ways of improving your online reputation management can be, there are certain people who start following your particular, you can say, using your particular product or services based on once they start trusting your particular brand, and those people, they become the brand defenders. So those brand defenders, you can also request them, if you're finding any negative comment which is as per you is not at all genuine about your particular product or service, you can request those brand ambassadors, or you can social ambassadors or brand defenders, to write a view about what is their particular experience in using that particular product or service. Build relationship with online community, and that can be done by providing quality, relevant, educational, and entertaining content, and also engaging and commenting on other social network sites other than your own particular post. Become accessible. If it is in terms of as you're working in the institution, if you take an example of let's say the admission department, becoming accessible if somebody has raised some query regarding some grievance or related to some admission in some course and the person is finding some difficulty. So we should become accessible in the sense we should be able to reply to their particular queries within 24 hours. The moment we are having this less turnaround time in addressing to their particular query, their, you can say, belief system or their trust with this particular institution will increase, or with the person will increase, and that will build the credibility of that particular person. Invest in customer service, and lastly, get involved in the conversation. These are some of the ways how we can build the credibility of our particular profile. So this is all from my side.